Goo. So I was working on a new video doing a critical deep dive, or at least the best I can do, about video games and media in general, and how it affects our mental health and our outlook on life. I got mainly inspired by a friend recently, and noticed that they enjoy a lot of quote-unquote sad or pessimistic media, and it made me notice a lot of friends who are a bit pessimistic about life, like a lot of media that isn't too hopeful or positive a majority of the time. And maybe consuming some hopeful media, something explicitly more bright and cheerful, might help them. That video is coming, I promise, whenever that is. But while I was making it, I realized something. I have a lot of what the kids call hot takes. So let's make people mad. This video is about pretty much every hot take I can think of, all condensed into one place. Please don't actually get mad at this video, I'm just trying to, as the gays say, pop off. Gosh, I sound old when I say that. I may not be as big of a Sonic fan as I used to be as a child. Heck, I only really care about this era of games. But I feel like people are way too harsh on Sonic in particular, trying to take itself seriously, and I think that's stupid. Considering there are people that get really over-emotional over stuff like Jak and Daxter and Klonoa, I guess not all cereal mascots are made equal, I think people who think gaming is legitimately dying are in desperate need of expanding their horizons and expanding their taste beyond mainstream AAA slop. Play some indie games or some games with some whimsy or mysticism. I don't know, not every game is Call of Duty Black Ops. People are way too quick to dismiss weird concepts in media. Like, I know it's cringe now, but when something like, the Mandela Catalog came out, it was a cool idea to portray a world taken over by the devil, and demons used EVs and stuff like that to be able to prey on the vulnerable, like our children. But then it got popular and now people hate it because it's stupid or something. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Mandela Catalog, or analog horror in general. But this was one of the first things that came to mind when it came to weird concepts in media, Recently, Paru Itagaki, the creator of Beastar, showed off her new manga, and while there were a lot of people calling it the white woman manga, I know for a fact that people would not bat an eye if this were written by a man. Women can write weird stuff too, I wonder how many people would be unwilling to like stuff like Metal Gear if it wasn't made by Hideo Kojima, but instead a woman with the brain of Hideo Kojima. 10 Toes Down, I think the hardest series to get into is Digimon. There isn't really any mainline video game series. You can ask fans what game to start with, and every single one of them will have a different answer and may or may not start a war. And the only real thing, to my knowledge, that has some sort of ongoing narrative is the anime, but then it gets a bit strange with the reboot that's pretty much a shot-for-shot remake, to my knowledge, and all that's different is that it takes place in the 2020s. I don't know. I want to get back into Digimon, but I don't have any clue where to start. I think it's weird that people demand so much out of video game developers, indie devs included, and then get surprised when something takes a long time to come out. Like, do people not know how labor works? You need to be blank to enjoy blank is stupid. You don't need to be a furry to enjoy Beastars. You don't need to be a lesbian to enjoy Life is Strange. You don't need to be autistic to enjoy Sonic or any other mascot platformers. And you don't need to be gay to enjoy Undertale. I'm kind of tired of people who pass on video games that look anime because saying it's anime means literally nothing. Anime is an art form. It's Japanese animation. Like how cartoons are an art form, or drawing is an art form. It feels more like people are willing to pass on something that, who knows, might be their next favorite game only because of an art style. I think it's dumb we still live in an era of cartoons are for kids, and teenage animated media gets Thanos snapped out of existence, and adult animated media is either a comedy or, wow, life sucks, instead of trying to show an artistic story. Those do exist, don't get me wrong, but it's so few and so far between. I believe people need to always be emotionally prepared for an actor or a voice actor that they love with all their heart to be a horrific person. Maybe it's just me, but I've been disappointed too many times that I wouldn't be surprised if the Wholesome 100 Big Chungus Reddit voice actors like Jonah Scott, Gianni Matragrano, or Alex Lee turn out to be a horrific XK-class end-of-the-world scenario monster. Maybe it's just because I've met my voice acting idol and he killed my love of voice acting. that I have a bias. I mean, people forgave Chris Noisi and let him back into the industry, and I feel like I'm crazy for thinking that that's bad. Y'all let a sexual abuser back in the video game voice acting industry. Y'all are crazy. Separating art from the artist is a very valid thing. However, I feel like there are times we shouldn't be okay with that and just not support some people. You know, it's kind of sad that this is a hot take, but I need to say it. I feel like people are way too reactionary if the latest game in a series that they like sucks. Like, calm down. It's not going to be downhill forever, most of the time. Like, at the time of writing, Mario Kart 9, or whatever it's going to be called, just got revealed. If it sucks, that doesn't mean Mario Kart is going to suck forever and die as a series and never recover. I think it's weird, specifically for certain genres of games, like turn-based RPGs. Developers will do quite literally the bare minimum when it comes to changing the formula, and then people will be like, wow, RPGs are cool. Like, y'all, Mario RPGs do not need action commands for people to realize these kind of games can be engaging and fun. Like, be for real. Partially an expansion of one of the previous points, but I need y'all to be prepared for when your favorite celebrity is a horrible person. Like, look at how many of them turned out to be Zionists that supported genocide, for Pete's sakes. Like, if it got revealed that Chappelle Roan actually helped a bunch of people traffic children, y'all need to be prepared for that kind of headline. I'm serious. I feel like not acknowledging something when something does something well because this thing is cringe is in itself cringe. There are weird things that furries do that I, as a furry, don't quite understand and probably never will. What's the big hype about fursuits, y'all? They really aren't that big a deal. Fandoms can be fun, but while fanfiction can be a hit or miss thing for me, I have no idea why, but audio dramas I just cannot listen to. I feel like it's really stupid that we've come so far as a society, and yet a lot of high-ranking religions still can't understand the concept of you don't need to make the laws all about yourself. Like, chill, not everybody believes in what you do and your life stuff. Like, come on, Christians. People don't need to believe in you to be happy. I'm really tired of, I don't want to interact with this thing because of the fan base. Like, oh my gosh, stop letting people control what you do and don't consume. Like, isn't this one of the first things we learn about in, like, elementary school or something? Don't fall into what people want you to do. Like, if someone you like jumped off a cliff, would you do that? No. I'm almost done, I promise. But now, time for the things I feel like shouldn't be hot takes, but apparently are in society. Let's go, divas. It should be perfectly fine to tell your friends that you love them. Love isn't exclusively a romantic emotion. It's a very complex emotion. Like, you aren't romantically attracted to your family, but you love them, right? Well, at least you shouldn't be. So, saying, I love you, my guy, or love you, bestie, should be normal in my opinion. Please normalize being there for each other without ulterior motives. I'm so tired of snakes. It's perfectly fine to live with your family, especially in this economy where pretty much everything's unlivable, so don't feel shame. It's sad that older people seem to not be able to comprehend that we cannot afford things like rent because they are too greedy. Also, being able to live with your family doesn't make you any less independent or any less of an adult. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm sure somebody does. Don't feel like just because you live with your family means that you're less of a person. It's okay. And finally, the big one. If your friends are trying to help you, don't reject help. I understand that, especially with men, there's a big ingrained mentality that says, I gotta do things on my own, whoop-de-doo. And you can, with some things, but not everything. If your friend is offering you money to help you live, like, I don't know, buy eggs at the store so that way you don't die, accept it. If your friends are giving you gifts, don't feel bad. If your friends are trying everything they can to help you, don't feel weirded out or uncomfortable. It means they care about you and don't want you to be alone. And being alone in today's society is basically the worst thing that can happen, on period. Like, I'm not joking. Love your friends. Yeah, I think that's about it there. I think I finally ran out of steam. Tune in next time for when I finally finish that video. Whenever that is.